4th of July, I figure we'll make some fireworks. I'm going to do some welding on this and add an attachment or an option to it that it's never had, so should be cool. Really what this is about is to, again, put this little welder from Vevor to the test, because it goes up to 140 amps. I used it on a bead weld the other week, and I showed it to you, and I was kind of shocked. It's like, did a nice job. And for the size of it, it's just, wow, this technology is just sometimes mind-blowing. What's going on here is this hits the wall when I push it up against a place where I'm going to store it, so I've had to tie a piece of rope here, and it still doesn't work because it's still hitting the wall. So I'm going to weld a bar back here, and the bar will also add to being able to steer this thing around whenever I use it. I've used my engine lift for holding up pieces of furniture when I'm painting. I used it a couple years ago with a 2x4 attached to extend it as a crane to lift 14 foot high for steel beams in the job over here for this carport when we did it. So the engine lift has always been for me a great little tool to keep around for other things besides lifting out an engine, which really, I hope I never have to use it for that. Yeah. But we're going to put this welder to a full job today and just see how it does and make some sparks for July the 4th. Yes. Okay, so I need a piece of bar or square tubing for that, for a handle. And I had noticed some people like to throw those exercise equipment things out in the road for garbage and, you know, just give them away for free. So I hauled one off. I cut it all up for square tubing projects for this, you know, stuff like crazy things like this that show up. But I do want to trim this off a little bit, and I'm going to make it 24 inches long, and then we're going to weld it onto the engine lift, and that'll give me you know, some steering and stuff for the engine lift, as well as it'll stop those great big long arms from going back and hitting the wall. It scrapes up the wall and stuff, and it's just been kind of like, it will just help it to be more compact when I stuff it in my little barn back there. So we're going to cut that up, and then we'll get to the welding part. If you ever get a chance, when you buy one of these, see if you can get a DeWalt or somebody. This is from Harbor Freight, and it is just, I think it's horrible. It's Harbor Freight. Yeah. Better than nothing. Alright, so now we're at the job site. This is the piece I just cut, and now I've marked center up here, and I've marked center on this. I'm coming up at just about an inch underneath where this is here. This is not going to interfere with anything, but it'll give me you know, a way to grab this, and I can steer my engine lift around a little bit. But when I put those bars up, I'll have them come up to here. I might even just throw a bungee cord across or something, and that way they're held, but they're not going to be hitting the back wall and scratching and scraping everything up all the time. At least that's the theory right now. One C-clamp, real heavy on it, nice and tight. Now I got to grind the top and bottom, and then what I'll do is I'll tack weld here, here, and I'll tack weld under here. That'll hold everything in place for me, and then I can do a good heavy bead across, and then maybe a heavy bead across the bottom, and that'll lock this thing in nice. So I'll get the grinder, get this cleaned up. Let's get the next thing done. Okay. Okay, we'll just to tell you the truth, I can't believe how good that silly little thing welds. That is crazy. All right, so we'll have a look. Oh wow. Yep. Good. Now we don't have any red paint around, I don't think. We'll have to go find some red paint. Ground is everything though too. I did have a little trouble with the ground, so it's just one of those, if you're welding, my God, you know, make sure you've got a good ground, because that's everything, you know. Well, not the top of the line weld for me, but it'll work. Yeah, I kind of rushed across, and then I started really getting into it on the other side, but let's face it, this does not have to be a super strong welder or anything, just something that'll keep this, you know, keep this together for me. So that is going to do the job. Now I got to do is find some red paint. All I've got left here is some this old hammered silver stuff, so I guess we'll just paint what we did with the hammered silver. Cool. And the paint's still cooking a little bit. I guess she's still a little warm. Yep, just enough to, yep. I'll even cover this thing. Woohoo! Yeah, make it pretty. Yeah, just paint the whole thing a little bit with some floppy hammered silver. Yeah. Okay, good enough. The whole time I've had this, I've always had these extra chains and pins for when you set it down, and I've got holes up here, so I put the hook through up here, brought the chains through, which helps, you know, hold and contain these so they're sort of locked with the unit, and also put my pins up here on these hooks, or I could put them in the center or whatever, I guess, like that, or for storage, whatever. But now everything actually has a place to be. Plus, of course, I have a handle. Well, I should 3D print something fancy here for handles, but I have a handle on the ends here now, so I can steer this thing around. Oh, back. There's the other. Yeah, there's another S hook that came with this kit way back. I actually should have 4 of these. I only have 3. You know how things go missing. A fellow loaned this borrowed this once. It's been missing some parts ever since it came back, and it was like, it is what it is. It's just, you know, typical stuff. That actually worked out better than I thought. Here, back this up and take a look at that. That's, I should patent that thing, huh? Everything's stored now over here. Well, now that that's all set, it's still drying a little bit. It's tacky. The big question now is, how bad is it against the wall? Well, now I think I can push it, yep, right up against the wall, and they don't quite hit. So that's exactly what I wanted. So, wow, what a win-win. Wow, so another great welding job done by this little guy. If you have a bad back, you know, or you just like to have portability with a welder, I hate to say it, but this thing is absolutely amazing me. It's just awesome. I'm still a little bit can't get over it. I'm trying to figure out how I could strap that to my welding cart. There's not enough here, you know. It's so small, you know. But I ran at 90 amps, which I always use for 1/8 rod generally. It's a little sticky that way, but I like the penetration, I like the finish and whatever. And it did another really nice job the way that turned out. But this is really for a small workshop. You know, if you guys have a small shop like myself and you just need a small welder to do tacking and a little bit of job here and there sort of thing, I don't think you can beat that. And it's at a great price with Vevor. So I have to hand it to Vevor. Also, they do have some larger units, but this is the one, of course, that we're focusing on right now. It's the little 140. Maybe we'll get the other ones in at some point in the future. I also like their plasma cutter, which apparently is back in stock. We wiped out the stock on that plasma cutter a while back, but it's back again. This Thursday, we're going to pull tickets finally. Yeah, and we're going to give away to a viewer the 4.5 inch workbench vise from Goners. Yeah, that's sort of an odd name, but these are available directly at Amazon, so I'll provide a link in the description below to where you can find this. A quick word too, if you want to win this vise or get in on the contest, you need to check out Coffee and Tools episode 352, and that's where the explanation is how to get in on the contest, to get a ticket drawn, and possibly take a good chance at winning this vise. This was a second video about this machine. Usually don't do that, but I had sort of promised that I would try to at least do one project with the machine for Vevor. So we sort of fulfilled that contract or whatever, I guess. But I am happy I did it because, I needed to get that job done. Plus, I am still excited about how this worked out. It's like, that little thing, my God. And this is a nice workbench vise. I have a really big, heavy-duty one that I use, and it will last me a couple generations from now. Somebody might be scratching, wondering where it came from. Yeah, but this one here is a nice little bench vise, and it's a great, again, for that kind of, you know, smaller workshop, just something you can hold the materials with. And it's at a pretty good price. When I say sale price, I mean, yeah, it's a sale price. I was hoping they would send me a discount coupon or something to go with it, code. I haven't seen anything. If something does happen, I will post it and comment about, you know, there's a discount coupon now posted or something if something like that happens. Got lots of tools in. Oh, got a lot of stuff in. Because of July the 4th and this being our, you know, holiday weekend, I decided we would just do some basically almost like review stuff this today instead, and not try to, you know, show any new products. So I sort of held back. Now I've got to bite the bullet. I've got too much new product and haven't got to show. So maybe Thursday we will have, I don't know which one, but we will have a new product on Thursday to show and talk about. In the meantime, I'm going to get out of here and just thank y'all for, man, happy 4th of July. Please have a safe weekend and keep the family safe and just be kind to everybody. Hey, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Over and out.